Hello and welcome to this presentation webinar of Aircraft Maintenance Systems AMM 21.3 release. 21.3 is a major evolution of our current solution and is now available for all our customers and prospects. Should you have any questions related to our products and services or this presentation, please do not hesitate to contact us. I'll now leave the floor to Charlotte for the demo.
Thank you for joining us to this AMS Major Release 21.3 presentation. I won't go far inside the details because there are a lot to show to you, and we will try to do this webinar for not more than 1 hour. I will try to give you a presentation during like around 30 minutes, and then if you have any question you will be able to ask and we will be able to talk together. So thank you very much for joining us today for this presentation. The main topic is the Major Release 21.3 and let's start right now. So to begin, here is the list of the new features that has been implemented inside this version. As you can see, there are most of them are inside Aircraft Manager. 2 of them are optional modules. The other one will be included. And you have 4 other ones which are implemented inside Inventory Manager. Most of the major new features are inside Aircraft Manager. So work orders and fleet dashboard are optional modules. The other one, AD management, margin, task with limited occurrences, new reference column in the defects, barcode on work report item, and new filter on aircraft detail status and cycle replacement are included in the version. Cycle replacement actually is something that we removed, and I will explain you quickly why. So let's start right now with the work orders. The work order feature is a new feature that we implemented inside the work report section. Previously, when clicking on work, you were just able to see the work report. Now the option is there is a new option which is work order. This work order section will open on the list of the work order that are present in the system that are already created. You will have the possibility to create new one or from template, because you'll be able to create template for work order too. And in this area, you will have the information of work report which are linked to this work order. Inside the work order, you will have something that looks really close, which is really close from the work report. The only thing is that you don't have any correction in here, but for this one, I will maybe show you that directly inside the application. It will be nicer than on my PowerPoint. So let me just switch to the application. So yes, so here I have the work order section. I open it, then I have a window with the list of the work order. Here I have a work report which is linked to my work order. I prepared it before the presentation, and then I will open it. So as you can see, it looks really like the work report. You will have the possibility to add item as usual with the same logic than inside the work report. You have the certify section, which allow you to create logbooks. From there, you have some approval and certification. You will be able to create CRS from here too. You have, as always, you have the opening, closing, a work order status, and then you have a section which is create a work report or export to work report. And this function will allow you to add something. So the idea is as soon as you have created a work order, you will be able to export it to work report. So the idea will be to open this window in which you will see the available work report inside your aircraft, or you will be able to create a new one or a new from template directly from here. And then you will select the inspection that you have created inside the work order, and you will be able to export it inside the work report you are looking at. So this is the details of the work report I selected here. I have one more inspection to join in there, and I will be able to add it at a place inside the work report. So just to show you, and then I will say to the bottom. And so here you see that my inspection has been imported. If you are using the task manager, you will have all the tasks that will come directly inside the work report. If not, you will be able to create from template. If you are using the work report template, you will be able to create work report from templates and just add the inspection at the first line or wherever you want inside your template. The document that will be generated will look like this. So it's it's as always, you have the work order number with the subject, and then you have the information as usual, and you will see the item that you added at your work report with the work report linked to each task if you have more than one work report to do the job. So you will have the information here. And then you will have a launching approval signature, a workshop acceptance signature, and the last one with the closing certification. In this white place, it will be the text, the closing certification text that you could want to write in there, and you will have the name, the date, the name, and the authorization. So this is the new feature for work order. This is optional, and the purpose is really to separate the work from the maintenance control services or the CAMO, or from the planning services, from the work done by the workshop. That was the main purpose of this new feature. The second feature, the second new modules that I will show you today is the fleet dashboard. So this is an option you can activate if you want to use it. You have here the aircraft. You have two new access here inside the menu aircraft. The first one is aircraft dashboard flight prevision, and the second is aircraft dashboard. So if I open the flight prevision, you will see here that you will have all the aircraft that are present in my system. For here, it's just a test database, but this is the idea is to have all your aircraft available in here, even if there is templates or not. And then you will select an aircraft, and you will be able to enter flight prevision for each aircraft, or for if you select more than one aircraft, you will be able to insert values for all the aircraft you selected before. So the idea will be to give to the system values which will allow the system to transform limits which are calculated in flight hours into an estimated date. So you will be able to see on a timeline. So in my example here, I just put the manual projection. I choose to apply a value of 50 flight hours per month. This is my provision. You have two other options here, which are some calculated values, which will be based on the flight logs of each aircraft. So if you take the main calculated per month, you will select an interval in years or months, and the system will browse every flight log for each aircraft and give you a mean calculated value. And this is the same logic. The only thing is that in here you will calculate it for each month, and in here you will have a general value, so which will not calculated month by month, but just based on the interval you will choose here. So as you can see on this aircraft, I put like 50 flight hours. This is my provision, so this is how I think my aircraft will fly during the next months. Now that I have entered this value, I can go inside the aircraft dashboard. Maybe I will let it big. The aircraft dashboard will allow you to create some aircraft list. Here you will be able to save all the lists that you want to see. If you have different bases, if you have different aircraft, not the same kind, not the same model or stuff like this, you will be able to create lists in here. So in here I have mine. If I select my list, in my case I just have one because it's a test version, it's a test database, sorry. But the idea is that you will have one line here because I have just one aircraft. If I had more than one aircraft, I will have more lines, of course, and you will be able to have a look at every aircraft you want. There is no limit. You can create lists with 10, 20, whatever aircraft. That's not a problem. And you can see here that I have some little color points which are on dates. So the dashboard allows you to look at 1 year in the future. I will just if I zoom in, you can see that I have the dates here month by month. So here I have some red flag. It means that it is this red flag will always be as placed on yesterday, at the date of yesterday. So for today it's the position is at May 12. Tomorrow it will be at May 13. This will allow you to see if you have some overdue inspections or if some updates are not being done for now. After that, you will see that I have a blue one. The blue one means that I have maintenance incoming, and if I select it, I can see that I have a 100 hours inspection to do, and I have some work to do on the altimeter. And I have the information here, the limits and the remaining, the due, and everything like this here. And if I move in the future, remember I put 50 hours flight hours provision. So logically for this one, which is for both of these inspection, which are 100 hours, I should find it again 2 months later, and this is the case. But in this case, there are estimated values. That's why you don't have any remaining. You have an option here that allows you to add events manually if you want. So let me just go back at today. If I want to say that maybe next week I have something to do on my aircraft, I will be able to add, like, I don't know, like mission, whatever. select the start date, let's say tomorrow, and go to next week, and I will say OK. And now in my dashboard here, I will have a green fields, and if I click on it, I will have the information here of the event that I have added. So that's what is about the fleet dashboard. On my screen, you can see an example where I have more than one aircraft. So you can see that you have a view of a complete fleet. But okay. So that's for the fleet dashboard. So as a reminder, work order and fleet dashboard are optional modules. Let's go now inside what will be included if you install the versions in the next few days. So the next one is the new AD management. For the AD management, I really want to warn you, this new feature, this new AD management will require a data migration of the existing ADs that are inside your system. So we recommend not to activate this feature at first. The actual AD section, as you know, it is currently still working in 21.3. As soon as you will be ready to go in to install and to do this migration or to install the version, we will give you a user guide with all the recommendations that we provide, that we recommend to prepare the migration to be sure that everything is going to be all right at the end. There is a tool available inside the system, and we will give you the user guide for this tool too, and you will be able to do that by yourself if you want it, or we can offer you help on the migration service. That's not a problem. And as soon as you go, as you activate the new AD, there will be no return. You will not be able to activate the old AD system after the migration will be done. So let me show you how it looks. So the new AD management will be has been placed on the main screen of Aircraft Maintenance Manager. So you have AD definition section and migration tool. If you go inside the AD definition, you will have an AD global consultation in which you will find your once AD and your recurring AD. You have AD edition and consult. The edition will allow you to modify the principal information of your AD definition, and you will have in here a button applicable on, which will allow you to create the instances that you want on aircraft or on component. So let me show you. I think this one has already something. Yes. If I take this one, for example, then I edit it and I do an applicable on. I will search for my engine and select the one I want, apply the filter, and now I can find the two engines on which I wanted to create this AD. I will be able to select it and to create the instances. So the main purpose of this new AD will be to be able to link directly your ADs to aircraft or to parts. If I show you, the first one here, name is demo once aircraft. So if I show you, you see that I have run registration here. And if I double click on it, I have the access to the update window where I can do a last perform. You see here that I have some new status, applicable, not applicable. If I activate the not applicable, I will be able to enter a reason for the not applicable. Here I have applied, not applied, and active. So this is new flags that were not really well implemented inside the previous version. So I hope that it will be something that you will appreciate. So this is something I show you about aircraft. Now, if I show you the same but for a component, for the two common components, the instances I created just before, you will see here that this AD is linked to 2 engines. In this example, it's in the same aircraft, but you could have all your engine for all your fleet, and you will be able to manage it directly from here. So when you create a new AD, you do the applicability and you create the instance. You won't have to go inside each aircraft to update it or do what you have to do to put more information as a comment or stuff like this and to put it at applied. You will be able to do it directly from here. So that's for the global consultation. And if I go inside an aircraft, the AD section is still at the same place. The only thing is that it looks a little different than before. Before you had the once and the recurring on the screen. Now you will see in the first part of the screen, you will see all the ADs that has been created for the aircraft. And in the second part, you will have all the ADs that are created and linked to components. So you will have this is the main screen. Then if I select an AD applicable to parts, I will open this window where I will see the component. And then if I go inside the component, then I have access to the main screen. If I show you the other one, you will see here that if an AD is applied, you will have a little green flag. To end with the AD manager, the AD compliance report has been completely changed, a little improved. So you will have the possibility to ask for a report only for aircraft or for components, and you will even be able to ask for just one engine. If you want to do a report for just one engine or one other part, you will be able to ask for it here. And we change it so it looks better now. So this is the main page, but as you can see, we changed a little the organization because we wanted that you will be able to have a more readable report. So I hope that will be something nice for you. Okay, so that's what these 3 features are the main one, the major one that you will find inside the system. We have also the margins. So the margins are the values allowed by the manufacturer on periodic inspection or component removal. This is not something, this is as the contrary to the tolerances, the margin is a cumulated value. So everywhere inside the system on inspection and component and general task, you will be able to add the margin here and to have it on the report. So inside the forecast list, inside the detail status, on the history report, and inside the margin report, you will have a lot of information more in here. Because we added this margin, the fleet status has changed. You have now 4 status. If you don't use the margin, you will never see the orange one, but if you are using it, you will have the green as usual, the red as usual. And the new one will be, the in margin will be, which will be orange, and then the in warning, which will be yellow. We put some change inside the history report, so I show you that quickly, just to show you if you are used to go inside component history data and do some research for the fleet or even for aircraft and history. We have added interval hours, months, and cycles, so you will have the information directly in here. If you are using margin, you will have the information too. As you can see, we removed all HMC that were written inside the result which was a little annoying when you wanted to filter or to sort by date or by remain hours. So now you can do it directly without any manipulation. And we added the margin remaining hours calendar and cycle inside this table. I know that some of you are using it a lot, so I hope you will enjoy that too. After that, we created a feature where you can put some occurrences on an inspection. If maybe you need to apply something just once or more times, but not every time like a periodical standard inspection, you will have a new option in here. So I can show you directly here in the details here, where you will be able to add a limit, and every time you will perform your inspection, the perform value here will change. If you do some mistake, you will be able to decrease or increase. If you need to correct the value, you will be able to do that. And when you will have reached the limit that you have entered in here, then the system will alert you and will propose you to deactivate the inspection, or just to decheck the limited of occurrence, or change the value, so you will be able to perform it again. But the idea was to allow you to limit your application, the number of times you need to do a task, because sometimes it can arrive. This feature is available in inspection, in general task component, and ADSB. Oh, let's go there. So two other things on the AMM. Inside the defect section, we added some reference fields. Let's see if I take this one. In here, you have a new reference field here. This field is a free text field, so you feel free to use it as you want. The idea was to be able to add a take log or flight log number, the pilot name or work report number, or an inspection name. So you will be able to add information here. And of course, the reference field has been added to all exports, so you will have it inside. The work report barcode on item is just a little option that we added. Before that, you had the barcode available on job cards and on work report on the main page of the work report. Now you will be able to have it for each item. You will be able to have it directly on the item if you don't want to print another page or something like this. This is just a little option. Okay. I know this is a lot of information. I see a question on the chat. Yes, the video and the presentation I'm currently doing to you is recorded, so you will have access to it after the webinar will be finished. And Kevin, I will answer to your question at the end when I will finish that. So the next new feature concerns the inventory manager. The picking list is a main, has been really changed a lot. Before that, it was just a place where you were able to create some lists. That's all. You were not able to. It was just something that you were able to use to go inside your store and do some kitting, so prepare your package for the maintenance or etc. Now the picking list manager is a little more complete. The idea will be now to have the possibility to create picking list model. So a picking list model is just a list of parts as before. So it's just, okay, I need all these parts for my maintenance. You can give the name and the location of your picking list for the future, and this will be flagged as a model. And from this model, you will be able to create picking list in which you will add parts. You will have a flag saying that your picking list is completed, and when the picking list will be completed, you will be able to export it directly inside an operating cost or an invoice. As you can see, you have mine here has been exported to this operating cost. And if I just show you quickly inside the operating cost, you will be able to import the picking list directly from here, or to import it inside a general item. In here, you will have import for picking list. So this is really new. The idea is to go inside your store, have your box to create your kitting for your next maintenance, for example. Then with the model that you printed directly from the system, from here, you can pick your parts, and as soon as you have picked your parts, you will be able to add it to your picking list inside the system. And as soon as a mechanic is using this kit, then you will be able to export it directly inside Operating Cost Manager. So that's, I think, one of the main features that we added to the Inventory Manager. We have added some changing on the purchase order. So for the purchase order, you will be able now to enter the real delivery date. So before, the system was using the entering date as a delivery date. So it was really difficult to flag and to know when, how long it takes to receive a part. So now the idea will be that when you will receive a part inside the purchase order receiving, you will be able to enter the delivery date, and after that, this delivery date will be accessible. Let me show you. It will be accessible also inside inventory consultation. For example, in here, you will have the receive date, and you will be able to edit it if you entered some wrong values. And you will be able to go in to have the information of the delivery time inside the transaction history, where you will have the information right here, where you will have the date ordering and the date receiving and the lead time. So you will be able to see here how many days it took to receive what you order. So date order, date received, and lead time. This is for now only applicable for the purchase order. I hope that we will be able to implement some equivalent information from the packing slip, because we have the information available. So it could be a good thing to have it inside the packing slip. I'm currently working on thinking of that, on how we can implement that in the system. And the other little feature in here is that if you have a non-approved supplier, like mine here, where my date, you see the expiry date was April 10, 2020. You have a new settings available on PO Manager on supplier, which will allow you to warn you or to cancel the operation as soon as you want to create a new purchase order or to receive parts when your supplier is not approved anymore or is not approved at all. So this is the message here: the supplier non-approved or approval expired, the operation will be cancelled. That's in the case where you cancel the operation. Last feature in here is that you will now have the possibility to insert more than one part inside the packing slip and inside the quarantine. So I have an example in here. Now inside the quarantine, you see that you have a quantity column. And if you want to send a complete batch, so a whole batch or part of a batch of consumable parts, you will be able to do it now. So instead of create line by line every item you put inside the quarantine, you are not now able to insert directly a quantity and say, okay, this is what I have inside my quarantine. and you can do exactly the same inside the packing slip. So I have the example here. As you can see, my quantity here is 10. So instead of previously have to add 10 lines of the same component when you need to send back to supplier or for inspection on consumable parts, I know that happens sometimes. You will be able to just create one line inside the quarantine and inside the packing slip. Just a little last word about the cycle replacement, because I completely forget to show you this one. So back to the aircraft maintenance manager, I'm sorry for that. The cycle replacement has been removed because we had really a lot of issues, a lot of question or help asked by to the support team, and every time we needed to do some database cleaning, and this is not something that is really enjoyable for you. And yes, we noticed that this feature, which was a good idea at first, has created a lot of new issues after that. So we decided to just remove it, and we will think on how we can improve it. But for now, it has been completely deactivated, and the flight log cycle adjustment that was there before is now back. So you have the possibility to addition or to add rep to your total. If you need to change your custom cycle due to change of engine or for engine cycles, or every case where you have custom cycle which are just information for a part, then you will be able to use this feature again, the add rep total. Because it was the quicker and simpler way to resolve the problem for now. And the last feature, really little one, is inside the detail status. If you want to do some detail status on your aircraft, and that you don't want to see for example, the on-condition parts, because this is not really relevant when you do airworthiness status. You have these new places with the action list where you can select only what you want to see. So maybe if you don't want to see the on-condition, you can just decheck it, and it won't be shown inside the detail status in Word. So I'm finished with the presentation of the feature. Just a little information. If you are ready now to install, or at least in a few days or after our question and answer session, if you are ready to install the major version, please send an installation request through the customer portal as usual. If you are interested in using the two optional modules, so work orders and fleet dashboard, you can send an email to your usual contact or directly to contact@aircraftms.com. And if you need training or demonstration, or if you need to have some migration services for the new AD management, then you can contact your usual contact, and or send a mail to contact@aircraftms.com.